Hey y'all, it's Brandon with Voodoo Forge. Crazy story. I was contacted by a company, Vevor, which they're the ones that make the blue anvils, the cast steel, made in China anvils. And they wanted to send me an anvil to test. And I was like, sure, send that anvil on. And this was months ago. And I shot all this video. You can look back, it was a video of me making an anvil stand and doing a couple of things, but I shot a whole lot of video. And then I went to edit it and something happened in the editing, and it's probably something I did, but I screwed up and I lost a ton of footage. So this is the second time shooting stuff for this. I've got some of my original footage, some from the second one, and then some new stuff, and some of it's just gone. I can't sandblast it a second time. So anyway, this is some of the original footage. This is some new footage, but these are my impressions on this Vevor anvil that they sent to me. Well, this is the anvil that they sent me. Now, first impressions, I didn't really have to take it out of the box because the box was disintegrated when I got it. The horn was poking through. The UPS man was, he asked me what it was. He said, boy, you got a heavy one. What is it? And I said, it's an anvil. He said, no, it's not. And I said, yeah, it is. I showed him. Anyway. So, packing, not super. Got it out of the box, got to looking at it. Had a little plastic film on the top of this. That peeled right off. I can tell you right off the bat, this hardy hole, supposed to be a 3/4 hardy hole, and it is not. And I mean, it's not off by a little bit. It is quite a bit off from 3/4. The pritcher hole, that's good. They put them in there. Normally, a pritcher hole is when you're punching things, you punch through. On a London pattern anvil, they're usually on the heel. But the pritcher hole, it's not a good place for it. It needs to be on the face of the anvil. This is pretty much useless. I'm gonna have to clean the horn up. No big deal there. I have heard stories around the campfire that these anvils have voids in them from the casting process. So I'm going to take it and have it sandblasted. I can see there's some casting flaws around the edge here. I'm gonna get it sandblasted and take it from there. But, let's see, I hadn't hit it yet. It's got okay rebound. Okay, nothing super, but it's got an okay rebound, and it doesn't look like I damaged the face doing this, so that's good. But let me get it naked and I'll get back with you. Okay, took the anvil to the sandblaster, got it back. There were no voids in the anvil. I mean, there were a couple little spots here and there where they had some like filler in there, but I'm talking tiny spots on the side. Don't matter. This is a cast steel anvil, so it's cast in liquid form, but it's not like cast iron, so it's not brittle like cast iron. It's steel. It is a good anvil material. These are 30 kilogram, which is 66 pounds. And like I said, I got it back from the sandblaster. This has been months ago. If I hadn't taken it and sandblasted it, it wouldn't have the surface rust on the sides of it. But the paint, whether you remove it with sandblasting or sanding, you need to do around the edges, because otherwise when you're bending things over the anvil and stuff like that, it starts to burn, it stinks. The paint is simply there as a rust inhibitor during shipping. I mean, that's the only reason they put it on there. So you can take it off if you want. You can leave it on and burn it off if you want. But I also cleaned up the horn with a flap disc. It did not take long at all to clean up the horn. The hardy hole, I dressed it out relatively easy using a deburring tool on a die grinder and a finger sander in there. You could do it with a file if you're more patient than me. But so the hardy hole's cleaned out. It'll take a 3/4 hardy now. So I got a little bit of video of me using this thing. Well, let's talk about how she did. First of all, total length about 20.5 inches. The face of the anvil, if I can operate a tape measure, is 4.5 inches wide. This thing ended up working great. It may be a benefit that I lost all that footage and am having to redo this because I've had it for several months now. I've used it both in the shop. I've used it as a portable anvil, and I've used it for a couple of classes. So I've had students use it, and students are hard on anvils. And as you can see, there's no damage to this other than when I left it outside for a couple of weeks and it got some surface rust on it. And these little marks and divots here, that's just, I didn't clean the horn up super well because this isn't going to be my main work anvil. This is for students, this is for classes, and for that, this thing is great. It's perfect. The Pritchel hole is, there's no point in it being there. That's in a terrible spot. So it's unusable as a Pritchel hole as far as I can tell. I mean, I guess you could use it, but not well. I'm going to make a plinth block for this that has a shaft that goes down the hardy, and then a steel block with different size holes for punching holes in it for students to use. There's no cutting plate on it, which, you know, you don't need one. I can put a piece of steel on this and cut on a piece of steel, but there isn't one. It's got good rebound. It takes abuse. I mean, it had to be cleaned up, but they're like $150, and they'll bring them to your house. So I don't know, you'd be hard pressed to complain about what this thing is. Now, I'm going to go over what I think the pros and cons are to this anvil real quick. Pro, number one, price. I just looked, it's under $125 to have this anvil delivered to your door right now, and that's great. Pro number two is going to be the weight of the anvil. 66 pounds, depending on what you're doing with it, but what I got it for, and what I think most people would be getting it for, 66 pounds is a great weight for beginning blacksmiths, for program, like classes, for having anvils you've got to move around for classes and have for classes, for portable anvil, for somebody who needs a portable anvil for demonstrations or or work sites. 66 pounds is great because it's a good working size, but it's not so heavy that it's difficult to move. The third pro that I'm going to give you is the material it's made out of. This is a cast steel anvil. Cast steel, if you don't understand, it is the ideal material to make an anvil out of. Do not get this confused with the old cast iron anvils coming out of China and Russia and India and places like this. This is the material you want your anvil made out of, made with modern production methods. So those are going to be our 3 pros. Now, I'm going to give you 3 cons to the anvil. First of all, the Pritchel hole, useless. I've already talked about that. Pritchel hole, no good. You can work around it. Number 2, it comes very roughly finished. You will have to do some work to it to get it usable. Still not a deal breaker. And number 3, and probably the one that I've heard more about from people, is it's manufactured in China. Now, there are certainly some good reasons not to buy Chinese manufactured products. Quality is not one of them. The Chinese can make really good products. They don't always, they haven't always, but they can. And this is a good one. This is well made. It's made with modern manufacturing techniques. But like I said, there are some other pretty good reasons not to buy Chinese products. But you're not going to be able to get anything at this price point manufactured anywhere else at this quality. You might be able to get a similar price point for something out of India, but the closest price-wise that I've been able to find that was American made in the same weight range and quality were close to $1,000. So I don't know. You got to work that one out for yourself. But that's my thoughts on the anvil. In addition to the 66 pound anvil, they make a 110 pound anvil and a 132 pound anvil. And you're getting into some decent sized anvils there. And they're also very expensive. I think the 110 pound is like $150 delivered, $250 for the 132 pound anvil. So even if you're wanting something bigger, they're available. And now I haven't handled one of those, but I'm assuming they're the same quality. So I don't think you're going to be doing yourself a disservice getting one of those. I think these are great anvils. They're great little anvils, and they're cheap. And that never happens. But what do you think? And let me know in the comments what you think of them. Have you tried one? Are you looking at getting one? What do you like about them? What don't you like about them? What do you think might not work about them? Just let me know. Anyway, these are my thoughts on it, and y'all behave yourselves. The weight is beneficial in those cases. What's that noise? Whoa! Look at this thing! Quick, come look at this thing! Okay, so like Eddie Rickenbacker just flew over the house in World War I by plane. That was exciting.